So what is up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a fantastic video for you guys. Hopefully it is very helpful. It's going to be how to make your very own custom Twitch panels using Photoshop. So that is the one caveat to this video. You do need Photoshop to do what I'm about to show you. But once you have Photoshop, and if you have any questions about how to get Photoshop, you guys can message me. Once you have Photoshop, this is how you do it. So take a look here on your screen. You're going to see this YouTube Twitch panel right here. This is what it's going to look like. Now you can obviously customize the color, and you can customize, well, the name of the panel. You might have an about me, a donate, subscribe, etc., etc. But what I'm going to show you guys to do is how to achieve this general look right here, and then the little tweaks we can talk about at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that you guys have Photoshop, but I'm going to also assume that you guys don't really know too much about Photoshop. So I'm going to break down the basics, and we're going to walk through every possible step. So first thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you what the finished product looks like on my panels. You can see that I chose to do separate colors based on what they were. So green for donate because money's green. Discord, I used the Discord color, and I just looked up the color. Twitter, I used Twitter's color. I just looked up the color. And YouTube, I used red. And I just looked up, again, I just looked up their colors. So yeah, I chose to do every single icon in full black. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that for yourselves as well. So let's get started. We're right here in Photoshop. And what we're going to do is pretend that this isn't already here. We're going to click File in the top left and then New. And it's going to ask us for a bunch of information. So what we're going to do is first off, we're going to name it. So it says untitled. We're going to delete that. And we're going to type in Twitch panels. And you might hit dash subscribe or whatever you want to make it. For me, I'm just going to type in tutorial because this is a tutorial video. Size, we're going to make it 1280 by 480. Okay, size isn't super important. You can change it a bit, but I would recommend just doing what I'm telling you right here. It's 1280 width, 480 height. That's in pixels. Orientation is landscape. Resolution is 72 pixels per inch. Color mode is RGB, 8-bit, and background contents are transparent. That's actually really important. Okay, now click create. Beautiful. Look at this bad boy right here. So it's just a blank canvas for us to work on. Now, we're going to take one more look at our finished product, and there's a couple things we notice here. One, we have a red border, and then the background looks like it's gray, and then a couple different shades of gray, and then white. So we're going to try to replicate that right now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to drag out a rectangle using our rectangle tool. You guys can either just press U, or you can go ahead and click the rectangle tool on the left-hand side. Now, if you don't see your toolbar, you're going to go to Window, and check tools. Make sure that that's checked off, and then you will see the toolbar. So go ahead and you click your rectangle tool, and we're just going to drag out. It doesn't have to be perfect because we could fix it in a second. We're just going to drag out a shape. Now for me, it's already selected on my dark gray that I like. You guys can make it any color you want. So, but for following along, I would suggest maybe just making it the same color as me for now, and then you can switch it up later. We're going to drag it to the corner. You can just kind of line it up to any corner. It's being a little silly. I don't know why it's leaving. You guys can probably see there's a little bit of a like a white space there. I don't know why it's doing that. Sometimes Photoshop does that, but it could just be a visual glitch. I think it is. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now our background is totally gray, but I'm actually missing my layers panel, so I'm going to go into Window and click Layers so I can actually see the layers that I'm working with. So, oh no, I just closed out the Properties panel. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I have my strong gray background. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a stroke to it. But I'm actually I want the stroke on a totally separate layer. So I'm going to duplicate the layer. So I'm going to come over to a rectangle in my layers panel. I'm going to right click it and then click duplicate layer. Rectangle 1, copy. Okay. Now in our properties panel, and again, if your properties panel is not showing, you can just click Window, Properties, make sure it's checked off. In my properties panel, I'm going to go to, there's a couple of little boxes here. One is the dark gray, and then one is white with a slash through it. This is your fill and your stroke. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's basically just like what color you want it to fill, and stroke is the border. So we're gonna click the gray because that's our fill, and we're actually gonna click the red slash, which gets rid of the gray fill. So you don't visually see anything because there's a layer right underneath it that does have the gray. So, but now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a stroke. So click the stroke box. And we're going to add a stroke. Let's make it red just for ease. Great, perfect. Now yours might look a little different. Yours might look smaller or something like that, but what you can do is you can just change the stroke size right next to it with this little slider. So we're gonna make it, we're actually gonna punch in the number, and you can do that instead of sliding. 20, enter. There's our 20-point red stroke. Now the reason we want that on a separate layer is because we want to put things underneath the stroke, but on top of the gray. So we want those on 2 separate layers so we can put things in between them like a sandwich. Cool? Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our slashes. Now there's a couple different things here that basically there's an easier way to do this than I'm about to show you, but I actually am not really a Photoshop expert by any means, so I kind of use a little bit of a workaround. If you guys do know an easier way to do it, please offer that suggestion in the comment section below, but I'm going to show you guys what I do. So I'm going to click Control Shift, and I'm holding these down, and the letter N as in November. Control Shift N. That's to create a new layer. That's the hotkey for it. You're going to type in I don't know, let's type in slashes. Enter. Great. Now in your layers panel, drag that in between your 2 rectangles. Just like we said, we want to kind of sandwich it in between. And we're going to come over to the rectangle tool again, but we're actually going to click and hold. And we're going to go down to polygon. So now, before we actually start drawing, we're going to go up to our top toolbar here, and we're going to make sure that the sides are 3 because we want this to be a rectangle. Okay. For fill, we want to make it slightly lighter than the gray that we used before. So just pick, you know, a slightly lighter gray. I like that one. Great. So now we're going to take our triangle and we're just going to click and drag until we get a triangle. And we're going to let go. Now you guys see it disappears when it hits the red because we sandwiched it in between there. That's exactly what we want. Now what we're going to do is click our selection tool. It's the one on the the move tool. You can either press V on your keyboard or you can click on the very top of your toolbar. And we're going to click this layer and we're just going to drag it over to the right. Nice. Now see, that's not quite big enough. So now what we can do is we can do Control T and we can grab one of these corners, but I want you guys to hold down Shift when you're grabbing this corner. That'll maintain the aspect ratio and drag it out to make it bigger. Hit Enter to lock in that change. And now just reposition your triangle where you want it. I think right about there is good. Cool. So now that we've done that, we want to make we're going to look at our finished product here. And we can see that it goes to a little bit of lighter gray and then to white. So now we're just going to basically repeat this same layer. So where it says slashes, I want you to right click and click duplicate layer. Boom, it should get pasted on top of the previous one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our back to the shape tool. So we're going to click, that's the polygon tool now because we made it a polygon instead of a rectangle. But I would recommend just pressing U on your keyboard. Okay, and that'll open up our fill and stroke on the top toolbar. We're going to make this fill a little bit lighter than the previous. So how about something like that? Okay, then we're going to use our move tool. I think it's just V is the, yep. And we're going to click and drag it a little bit to the right. Boom. Great, so you can kind of see our final design starting to manifest itself here. Fantastic. We're going to copy that one more time, repeat. So in your layers panel, slashes copy, right click, duplicate layer. Boom, slashes copy 2 has been made and it's been pasted on top of the previous one. And just as we did before, we're going to press U to open up our polygon tool, which will bring up the fill option here on the top toolbar. Click that and we're going to make it white. Nice. Now what we're going to do is just click and drag once again using our move tool. We selected the move tool on the top there, or you could hit V on your keyboard. And drag it a little bit to the right. Look at that. Perfect. That's the exact effect that we wanted. We can go back to our finished product and it looks very, very similar. There's a little bit of a difference there in the angle of the slashes, but overall it looks very, very similar. Now here comes the fun part. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and find a picture, you know, a logo to place on top of there. Now you guys can get totally crazy here. For your About Me page, you guys can see I just use like a silhouette of a person. For my money one, you can just find a coin, whatever you guys want to do. Subscribe. I used a crown. But for YouTube, we're obviously going to use the YouTube Play logo. So you can just type in your web browser, YouTube logo PNG. PNG is important because PNG images allow you to have a transparent background. So YouTube logo PNG in Google, hit enter, or Bing if you're a Bing person. Go to images and we're going to find one. This one looks great right here. So we're going to right click and save image as, or however you guys like to save it. Some people like to go to the website and do all that stuff. Whatever you want to do, save that image. And now you have yourself a YouTube logo saved in your folder somewhere. We're going to open it up in Photoshop. So we're going back to Photoshop, File, Open, and we're going to scroll down. Oh, here's a YouTube logo. And it opens up in a new window here. I want you guys to look at your layer panel. For me, there is no lock on the YouTube logo layer. Sometimes it'll be locked. You can just click to unlock it, and then you can move it. Right? You still have your move tool selected by pressing V. I want you guys to take the YouTube logo and drag it up to where it says Twitch Panels Tutorial, and then down. Boom. And it basically just pastes it there. Great. So now what we can do is Control T to size it down. Make sure you hold Shift to maintain that aspect ratio of your image, and then click and drag to resize it down. I think right about there is good. And you can lock it in. You can kind of feel it locking into place. And that looks like a pretty good spot. I actually might move it just a little bit to the left. There we go. Now, if your locks are not enabled, you guys might want to change that up. I'm not exactly sure how to do it. I think you might have to do... Oh boy, I'm sorry guys. Window... Okay, I don't exactly know how, but give it a quick Google, and it's a very common problem, and you'll be able to fix it really easily. So yeah, sorry guys, but my locks are enabled, so when I move things, it kind of locks it into place right in the middle. So anyway, it's right there. It's right where I want it. Now you might be thinking, oh wait, Chris, I want it to be all black logos just like yours are. How do I do that? Okay, super simple. In your layers panel, make sure you have your YouTube logo selected. Then you're going to right click and click blending options. It's all the way at the top. Okay, and now you have this window that pops up, and there's a bunch of different blending options that come up, and you can do like a drop shadow and add all these cool things, but we're not going to do that right now. All we're going to do is click color overlay, and we're going to select normal blend mode, and we're going to make that color black. Now you guys might be noticing, wait, there's a problem. It fills in everything. It just looks like a black rounded rectangle. Good observation. Uncheck color overlay, because I actually forgot to do one thing. So we're going to click cancel there. Go to your magic wand tool in the top left of your toolbar. You can just press W. And now take that inner YouTube play button, right, like the little play symbol, the triangle, and click inside there. What that's going to do is it's going to select everything that is the same color as that. So it's going to select that white triangle, and then you're just going to click delete. Now you didn't really see anything because the background's white, but what it did is it completely sucked out the inside white there. Now you can hit Control D to deselect. And now, just so you guys can tell, I'll clear that out. You can see it's hollow in the middle now. Great. So I'm going to go to my layer, right click, once again, blending options, color overlay, boom. And now that play button is cut out and it looks great. It looks like a black and white YouTube logo. Last but not least, we're going to add text. Control Shift N to make a new layer, and we're going to type in title or YouTube or words or whatever you want, really. Hit enter. Great. Text tool. It should be the letter T for the, yep. Letter T is the shortcut there. You're going to go ahead and click anywhere in there and just type in YouTube. You guys can make the font whatever you want, but I'm actually going to downsize this. I'm going to highlight and I'm going to downsize it to 150. That looks about right. I'm going to take my move tool and I'm just going to move it. So see how it clicks into place there. It's nice and centered. Boom. Now it looks a little bit low. That looks about right. Cool. So here you are. I'm going to hold down Alt and scroll down with my mouse to zoom out. And that looks okay. I think the it looks a little off center, like maybe the YouTube logo should be a little bit more this way. Maybe R3. I'm just going to click, hold shift, click, hold shift, click. And maybe our 3 slashes can move over a bit. You know, that sort of thing. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Move YouTube a little to the left. This is all just positioning and it's preference really. But this is how you achieve the effect. We can look at our final product and they're nearly identical. Last thing that I want you guys to do is click File, Save, and name it. You can kind of like make different Photoshop projects for the different panels and the different colorings. If you guys just want to get ready and export it, you can click Save As, File, Save As. And then where it says Save As type, click that drop down menu and click PNG. This will allow you to save it as a transparent background image, which is perfect for Twitch panels. And you can save it. You can see a bunch of the other ones that I've worked on. You're going to click save, and now we're going to bring you to Twitch so you can see how you upload it onto your panels. So here we are on my Twitch page. It's just twitch.tv/ChrisPatrone. I would encourage all of you to come and follow me and check me out sometime. Anyway, you're going to scroll down and click edit panels. It kind of checks it off and enables you to edit them. You're going to scroll down until you find a blank panel and just click there. It's a little plus sign and add a text or image. You're going to click add image, and it'll ask you to choose a file from your computer or drag it there. You can drag it from a folder right on top of there, or what we're going to do is browse our computer for it. So you're going to go to your panels, pick one, and it's going to have you size it out. So you just click and drag, and then click done. And now you're all set. What you can do though is you can go to your YouTube channel. So let's say we're just going to pretend that this link here is my YouTube channel. I'm going to copy my twitch.tv/ChrisPatrone link, and I'm going to, where it says image, sorry about that. Where it says image links to, I'm going to paste it right in there. Click submit, and then uncheck the edit panels. And now, boom, we have an about me panel added. And when you click it, it goes to the link that you provided. Fantastic. So congratulations, guys. You did it. You got your panel up there. You designed it yourself in Photoshop, and you understand how to add a link to it as well. But let me show you how we can change the colors to kind of adapt to what we want here. So if we go back to Photoshop, we can click that topmost layer, rectangle 1 copy, we named it, and we can just go to the properties panel, select fill, and you can pick any color you want, and you can customize whatever you guys want to do. Now, as an alternate styling to the way I did it, you could make your border the same color for every single panel. And then the way that they're different is maybe you do no color overlay. So you leave the red for the YouTube logo, you leave the blue for the Twitter logo, etc., etc. Or maybe you don't want any color difference. Maybe you want pink in all of them and the logos to be black. That's totally cool too. And that's where your creativity comes in, where you can kind of make those adjustments and make those calls on your own and build your own Twitch channel to have your own personal style. So I hope you guys learned something in this video. If you have any questions, please do let me know down in the comments section below. There was a really overwhelming video. It's got almost 150,000 views now and tons of comments. And I think I missed a bunch of comments on there. I'm going to try to go back and make sure I respond to everybody. But overall, I do try to respond to as many comments as I possibly can. Guys, thank you so much for almost 1,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube. And all the comments, all the support, all the views. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you are, please do leave a like, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.